Hey folks, Marcel back here with the Pulse. Today we're going to talk about a sticky topic, and it'll be interesting to see how much YouTube allows this one to be seen. The incoming administration has talked about stopping big pharma and FDA corruption. I want to talk today about that topic. That's a tough one. That's a big one. It's very important to us in general, an aging community, also a supplement-taking community. And what I have found to be a mostly anti-big pharma community. For the most part, we all know that there are times when we need drugs, we need prescription drugs. Nobody's saying they should be banned or limited. However, there are some major issues that I believe, and that I believe most of us believe, is contributing to this big pharma corruption that we're talking about. The first thing that I believe should be addressed, FDA and the upper management of these agencies should not be allowed to work for big pharma at least for a period of time, an extended period of time after their appointment. They shouldn't be allowed to leave government and go right to work for big pharma, which was the industry that they've been supposedly regulating and not working for, but working for the public to regulate this industry. And this would right away, it's no different than term limits, right? This would right away control the decisions, I believe, impact the decisions being made by the FDA. Also, the funding. Why is Big Pharma paying a third to a half, depending on who you talk to, of the budget of the FDA? Now, I understand there are costs involved with testing medical devices, etc. But I still believe that if it's in the public interest, that the public should be largely accountable to paying for the salaries, not talking about associated cost of testing, but the salaries, especially of managers. But by and large, the agency that is a government agency. The government should be paying their wages, not private industry. Another thing that involves, a lot of this involves payment, folks. Another thing that I don't believe should be going on is that doctors shouldn't be able to accept payments from big pharma, direct payments. Now, this is supposedly already banned or not allowed. However, it goes on to the tune of tens of millions of dollars every year. I believe the estimate is much higher than that. The amount is much higher than those estimates. It really needs to be discouraged and dissuaded, because right now you have this cycle where big pharma is running the regulators. Big pharma is advertising, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. People watch these advertisements. They really prey on the elderly. They prey on the vulnerable. And people then go to their doctors and pretty much demand that they be prescribed certain drugs for the conditions that are really just associated with aging, but they attribute them to some kind of chronic disease, whether or not these are actual chronic disease symptoms or not. The doctors are then paid, they're bonused, given trips, given all kinds of spiffs, if you will, to then prescribe these drugs to the patient. So they're being hit from multiple angles. They're being advertised to, preyed upon, in my opinion. Then they go to their doctor, who they supposedly trust, and then they're easily prescribed these drugs. And any elderly person has a huge cabinet of pharmaceuticals in this day and age. Hey, this week is Black Friday week. The sales have already kicked off on DoNotAge. You can save a lot of money. There's going to be another announcement in the next couple days about how you can save even more on more products at DoNotAge, but there are 6 bundles, I believe, posted right now. You can use my code ThePulse on all of them and save an additional 10%. Don't forget to do that. A relative of mine brought it to my attention, and because I take a lot of supplements, and they said, look, all the elderly people we know, and I'll be 60 in just a few days, all the elderly people we know have a cabinet full of drugs. Why not have a cabinet full of vitamins and supplements? Seems like a better cabinet for your health than taking a lot of side effect inducing prescription drugs. So as I alluded to a moment ago, ads should be banned for prescription drugs in the United States. There are only 2 countries in the world that allow prescription drug advertising. That is the United States and New Zealand. The entire rest of the world, when you think about even Russia and China and all of Europe, they are banned. You're not allowed to advertise prescription drugs on television. This should not be allowed. And I would extend that to social media and the internet. And this is where I'm stepping on toes here. But social media, who then censors us when we talk about health, accepts millions of dollars in payments from the drug industry to advertise. Even I've had people tell me in the middle of my videos, they're shown drug ads. So they're hitting our demographic for sure, and they're hitting them right here. So I don't think this advertising ban should be limited just to television anymore. We're in a new age. They should be looking at the internet as well. People should not be fed drugs the way that they're sold cars. It is just absurd that you should have to be bombarded with drug advertising. And now it's even more dangerous because the internet, they're targeting. On television, they can target certain shows. But on the internet, they can target the actual elderly. They can track them, target them. They can target what people are discussing and then advertise right there where it's being discussed. It's got to be stopped. And this is something that hopefully Elon Musk, RFK, can work on within this new administration. I know that not everybody's on board with these guys. I get it. But this is the hand we're dealt. And we're going to play the hand we're dealt. And these are the cards that we've been given. And we've got to try to fight for these things. I've talked about these things before. I've brought them up. I've had my reach suppressed. And that's just happened more widely now. But initially, it was videos like this one that were suppressed because I was talking about, the gravy train, right? The unlimited funds that are flowing into social media platforms like this one. The other one is very big to our community. And again, something I've discussed many times, big pharma should not be allowed exclusive rights to natural ingredients. I believe that it's time to actually end the ineffective and non-followed race to market. There never was. It's an illusion. There never was a race to market between supplements and drugs, prescription drugs, because never has a supplement been granted that status of being first to market. They've always deferred to the drug industry first. It's called drug preclusion. The farce that there's a race to market needs to be suspended, needs to be stopped. We need to protect natural ingredients for things that exist in the food supply. Things that exist in milk, obviously like NMN, but also NAC, CBD, things that grow in the ground that are natural. People should have access to them. It should go without saying. I mean, any reasonable person you state that comment to is probably going to agree with you. I would say 90% of this community agrees, but I would say most of the public would agree with a statement like that. If it grows in the ground, comes from a tree, if it exists in nature, exists especially in the food supply already in some form, it should be available as a dietary supplement to those who wish to market it and wish to take it. It should not be then acquired just because there may be certain healing properties or health properties or benefits associated with them that should not automatically make it a prescription drug candidate. This just has to stop right there. We have to go right back. And many judges have sided with this argument when a supplement has been pitted against a pharmaceutical company. So I think it's just best just to make it a law. Just stop it. Just stop this race, this fake race to market. And then we come to the social media landscape, which involves massive censorship. I'm going to be moving to X. There is no question about it. It's just myself fulfilling some projects, namely music project that I'm working on that I've talked about many times. I want to get that done so that when I build a new entity on another platform that I believe allows for more freedom of this kind of discussion, right? It's not picking a party. Again, I've said many times I'm a centrist, but I'm being limited here in my reach in this platform so that the only way that I can reach more people and even promote music, which is what I'm doing with my newfound health span, right? What I'm doing with that health span, I'd like to promote that as well as part and parcel of this story by telling this within the context of the story of my own longevity story. And who's into it will follow me. And if they follow me, they should be able to see the content that I post. I have 45 1,000 subscribers here over the last 3 years. So there should be a recency bias by YouTube. Yet my last couple videos were only shown to 1,000 people. And that's with posting links on some Facebook pages as well. So that you give another 100 views or 150 views to some of those posts, it's even worse than it appears. So unfortunately, we're not reaching the people that I think we should reach, the ones that actually subscribed and made a outward expression a specific expression that they want to view this content, yet YouTube doesn't show them the content. Am I going to take some action at some point and go further than just talking about it? I may have to. I may have to take my own action because it just doesn't seem right that I worked for 3 years to build up an audience, and then that audience is taken away simply because I talk about my own personal health approach or self-care and share it with others. I thank you guys for following, for watching, for subscribing for content, for commenting and giving that thumbs up. I'm sure it still helps. I don't know how much, but I do appreciate it, and I'll keep pounding the message out there. And I look forward to talking to you guys real soon.